Hey guys, this is Dane from Extra Credit Design Club, and today we are investigating the psychology of the secondary colors, green, purple, and orange. We're going to look deep into the psychology of the secondary colors. We'll look at what each color means, how it affects people, and how, through the course of human history, it has come to hold that meaning. This is the second video in this series on color. The first video was on primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. If you missed it, be sure to check it out, because I hear that red makes you more attractive. First up is green. To start off, I'm going to list the first 5 things that pop into my head when I think about the color green. Here we go. Aliens, slime, grass, vegetables, and frogs. So looking at that awesome list I just made, we can kind of split it into 2 different categories. Category 1, natural and organic, which includes grass and vegetables. Category 2, foreign and unnatural, aliens and slime. Who wants to get slimed anyway? Look at all that slime. And frogs kind of fit into both? Frogs are legit. As different as those 2 lists are, the similarity between the items on the lists is that they are all alive. Green is a color of life. Odds are that if you see something green, it might be alive. Have you ever left chicken in your fridge too long and it starts to grow mold? Well, my friends, that green mold is a sure sign that your chicken is alive again. Or at least that something is alive on your chicken. It now is the home to a brand new living organism. And if you want a pro tip, throw it away. I once saw a billboard that said, "Don't let salmonella get jiggy with your food," and I've never forgot it. I think that every time that I cook chicken. Throw it away, Jordan! So to start off, we're going to look at how the color green represents things that are natural and organic, also things that are healthy, and also things that are wealthy. And on the other hand, green can also mean things that are sickly, alien, envious, or greedy. We'll start with the positive meanings. Okay, so it's pretty obvious why green is associated with nature. It's because green is nature. Nature is green. Crazy, right? There are studies looking at how the color green affects our mood, restores motivation, and even can help heal people. So the first study I want to look at has quite the title: The Adaptive Effects of Seeing Green Environment on Psychophysiological Parameters When Walking or Running. Talking about affective judgments, like their own perception of their heart rate, how difficult their exercise was, and how fast that they were going. So the scientists slapped some people on some treadmills and surrounded them with either green, red, or white screens. The participants that were surrounded by green screens reported the following outcomes. They had a significant reduction in heart rate when compared to the other colors, red and white. This just shows that green has a calming and relaxing effect physiologically on your body. Also, they viewed their exercise session with an increased level of perceived exertion, meaning they felt that their exercise was better for their body. The study also found that regardless of what color you had shining on you while you were exercising, that exercising improved your mood. So there's a plug to exercise today. The second study is titled Facilitating Creative Thinking in the Classroom, Investigating the Effects of Plants and the Color Green on Visual and Verbal Creativity. It was found that the color green increased visual creativity. This is super important for everyone, that you are more visually creative when surrounded by the color green. This study is titled, View Through a Window May Influence Recovery from Surgery. They got a group of people who are all recovering from the same or a similar surgery, and they placed half of them in a room that looked out a window at some trees, and they placed the other half in a room that looked out a window at a brick wall. And what they found is, and I quote, statistically significant differences were found between the tree view patients and the brick wall view patients. The patient's length of stay, their pain medication use, and nurse notes. Patients with a view of trees were hospitalized shorter than patients who had a view of the brick wall. Brick wall view patients had more negative nurse notes. So they actually were more mad at the nurses and thought the nurses were doing a worse job. And finally, patients with a nature view, their pain medication, they took it for a shorter amount of time and they requested lower doses of pain medication, as if nature is somehow helping their body manage their pain. So isn't that amazing? I guess the moral of the story is if you don't own a plant, go buy a plant. Scientists believe that this positive association is just built into us evolutionarily, coming from our ancestors who were mainly hunter-gatherers. That longing for nature is embedded deep within us. Because of this deep connection that our bodies have with the color green, it has become in modern days associated with health, well-being, and organicness. This is so true that some scientists did this really funny study where they took a candy bar and on the health information label, so not even the whole wrapper of the candy bar, just the nutrition facts and ingredient list, one had a green background on that list, and the other candy bar had a red background on that list. We're talking the exact same candy bar with the same nutrition facts. It's like 7 grams of fat, 26 grams of sugar, whatever. And the people that were given the green candy bar rated it or perceived it as being more healthy than the one with the red label. Food is a great place to investigate this. Just walk down the aisle at the grocery store and pay attention when you see the color green, especially on processed foods or even products that have nothing to do with food. Anytime marketers want you to think something is natural, organic, good for you, good for the earth, it's gonna be green. Check out these side-by-side comparisons showing how green in packaging can affect you. First up, we've got Marie Callender's frozen pot pies. Are they delicious? Yes. Are they good for you? Meh. By making the box primarily green, they're associating their pies with vegetables, the earth, and healthy ingredients. However, upon closer examination of the ingredient list, we see this. Not healthy. If you can't recreate this pot pie from ingredients that you have in your house, ingredients that you've heard of and can spell and know where to buy them, it's not healthy. Number 2, this bag of baby cut carrots. The designers have chosen the color green to represent carrots. This is what an ingredient list should look like if something is healthy. Ingredients. Carrots. That's right, Marie Callender's. No thiamine mononitrates. Here's a few more really fun side-by-side comparisons that show the same food, just packaged differently. First up, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The name brand package has these funny cinnamon guys. It has lots of bright colors. It doesn't speak to me as healthy. It speaks to me as fun and full of sugar. But when I see this, I'm like, we're featuring a farm on the front, green labels, a way more green name, Cascadian Farms. So when I put Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Cascadian Farms Cinnamon Crunch next to each other, one looks healthier than the other because it's been associated with the color green. Same thing if I pull up this Clorox spray or this 409. The colors that they chose are red and blue, which kind of show like they're powerful, you know? They're powerful and cleansing colors. I think when I see these, I'm like, yeah, that'll get rid of my dirt. But when I see this, I'm like, ooh, and it's good for the environment. Just like in the candy bar experiment, pairing green with unhealthy food can still make us humans think that that food is better for us. Prime example, we've got sour gummy worms. Nobody in their right mind would say that these are good for you. But then we've got organic gummy bears. Once again, look at the brand name, Black Forest, very nature. And look at the packaging. The gummy bears are in nature. It's like these gummy bears came straight from nature. They've got to be good for you. They marched right out of the forest and straight into your mouth. From our forest to your mouth, Black Forest organic gummy bears will give you all of the vitamins and minerals that you need. Nah, the gummy bears have more calories per serving than the gummy worms do. This is a weird one. Lifesavers Winto Greens compared to Red Lifesavers. For some reason, when I see these next to each other, I think that the green ones are healthier for you, just because they're green. Last of all, I photoshopped some McDonald's French fries to be in a green package instead of a red package. What do you guys think? Do they look healthier for you? Green is also associated in Western culture with luck and wealth. Wealth because, well, American money is green. The origin of this is in the American Civil War. In the 1860s, the United States government created over $400 million in legal tender to finance America's war against itself. This was done when government-issued bonds weren't cutting it anymore. Since previously there were so many people making money, every state had its own currency. When the federal government issued a currency, they decided to dye the bills green to prevent forgeries. That's where the term greenbacks came from. Now for the not so savory side of the color green. Things that are foreign, unnatural, sickly, envious, or greedy. Okay, the one that gets me here the most is that aliens are green. Why are aliens green? I don't know, but everyone knows that they are, right? Don't worry, here's the proof. Green is the most unimaginative color that we could have picked for aliens to be. We know that on Earth, green equals life. So, if there's life on other planets, then it must be green. So given the example of Martians, green is still representing life. But it's unnatural in that the alien's skin is green. If a human's skin is green, it means they have some kind of gnarly sickness. Hypochromic anemia, bilirubin toxicity, or some kind of fungus. By making aliens green, we successfully alienated them from normal human health. And if you needed further confirmation that green is the color that we chose as a society for our aliens to be, check this out. We've got Martian Manhunter, Kang and Kodos from The Simpsons. E.T. phone home. Marvin the Martian. Ever since we first decided to start depicting aliens, they've been green. This movie poster from 1957 shows just that. The Toy Story aliens. And of course, Yoda. Finally, the saying green with envy. That's a saying that means that somebody is lustful or greedy. The origin of the idiom green with envy is thought to have come directly from Shakespeare himself. In the play Othello, we have this line. "Beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster, which doth mock the meat it feeds on." So that's the first instance that we know of somebody associating green with being greedy. Next color, orange. Dangerously cheesy. While I was researching this video, I got on the internet, opened a tab, and immediately this ad popped up. Based on Nike's use of the color orange here, we can discern that they want it to be associated with energy and exercise and movement. Orange is enthusiastic. It's meant to grab your attention. Orange combines the energy of red and the happiness of yellow for a passionate, energetic, and playful color. However, it can also be very overwhelming. Let's check out some of the brands that use orange as the primary color for their advertising. First up, Gatorade, with their classic orange lightning bolt. Of course, orange here is meant to be energetic. Gatorade's supposed to give you the energy that you need to exercise and be an awesome athlete like Michael Jordan. In fact, wet orange after you drink it. Or at least that's what this guy thought as a 10-year-old growing up in the late 90s. So Gatorade has successfully associated the color orange with being energized. Next up, Fanta. Fanta, throughout their history, have really leaned into orange being a playful color. Because what's more playful than orange soda? It's so fun. It's so novel. I'll tell you what's more playful. The Fanta Girls. In the 90s, at the height of NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, the Spice Girls, Fanta had their own pop group. The Fantanas. If you've never seen a commercial featuring the Fantanas, you have to go watch one. It's hilariously awesome. Even in Fanta's latest rebrand, orange plays a very important role in being playful, fun, and energetic. Another brand that really embraced orange is Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon from the get-go was designed as a place for kids to be kids. So they chose the most vibrant color they could think of, bright orange. Nickelodeon created a dynamic logo system where their word mark could be applied to an infinite variety of different orange shapes. The color orange also permeated their characters and shows. Freaking Cat Dog was orange, Chucky's hair is orange, Rocket Power Dude's shirt is orange. Seems like anytime they needed to draw attention to something, they just made it orange. And it worked. All of these images are forever burned into all of our brains. So where did orange come from? The color orange in English actually got its name from the fruit orange. The orange tree was introduced into Europe in the 16th century. It was brought from Asia by Portuguese merchants. Before that, the color orange was just called yellow-red. Speaking of Asia, Buddhist monks commonly wear a saffron-dyed orange robe. This is a symbol of perfection and of the highest level of enlightenment. This goes to show that colors can have vastly different meanings on different parts of the earth. This is best shown in a stark example through this. In the Eastern world, orange is a symbol of perfection and spiritual attainment. And over here, we just dress people in orange so that we can catch them easier if they escape. Looking at how the color orange affects us, in one study, some silly Billy researchers took a bunch of students and made them perform cognitive tasks in different rooms. Interestingly, the kids in the orange room reported higher levels of energy, but a harder time focusing on what they were supposed to be doing. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention orange's association with safety. Construction workers, traffic cones, and road signs are all orange to catch people's attention, because it's highly visible. The Home Depot has capitalized on this association, and all of a sudden, for their brand, orange feels honest and hardworking. Finally, my favorite color, purple. Purple is a quirky color that's commonly used to show that you're different. Check out these brands that chose purple as their main color. First up, we got Wonka. There couldn't be a more magical brand, right? Not after the lore of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They literally have a magic factory with an enigmatic magic man leading them. The Candyman can. The Candyman can. Yahoo. They started off as a search engine, and now they're a media company? Purple opens up limitless possibilities to what they can be. They chose a really good name that wasn't tied to anything specific, Yahoo, and then they chose a really good color, purple, which also isn't really tied to anything specific other than a sense of wonder and magic. Also, the super popular streaming platform, Twitch, chose purple as their color. Twitch is for people who do things a little differently, who go against the grain, and who are carving their own path. So, we're going to talk about how purple represents royalty, magic, and imagination. First, with royalty. To find the origin of this association, we have to go way back in time, all the way to the 16th century before current era. There is one amazing and unexpected place that purple occurs in nature. Tyrian purple was extracted from a predatory sea snail called Murex brandaris. And this purple was very expensive to make. I tried to research the process of making purple pigment from this creature, and it is ridiculous. It involved all kinds of steps that I have no idea how they figured out, so the color was in the mucous membranes of this animal, and you would have to remove it and isolate it and heat it and all this stuff. Word on the street is that it took 12,000 snails just to make 1.5 grams of this purple dye. That's just enough to deeply dye the trim of one garment. Now, I learned in elementary school that 1 gram is how much one paperclip weighs. So you have to murder 12,000 snails to get not even 2 paperclips worth of purple dye. The poor unfortunate soul who had to catch 12,000 snails. If anyone could do it, it was probably Ursula. She caught all those weird little creepy guys. Due to this rarity, purple was reserved for people with finances, and the people with finances were usually royalty. Only the extremely wealthy could afford to dress in purple. In archaeological digs in Israel, they actually found these snail shells used as kind of a mortar for building, which tracks with how many freaking snails they had to kill just to get this purple dye. Scientists have even found pieces of ancient cloth dyed with this purple dye, and have dated it back to the reign of King David, who lived 1,000 years before current era. And just like we said, King David depicted here in purple. The scientists also found shards of pottery dyed purple, alongside a pile of 1,000 shells of these little snails. Next up, the Magical Mystery Tour. It doesn't occur that frequently in nature. We have some berries, some lilacs, some eggplant. That's about it. Purple, for this reason, seems, when we see it, artificial or otherworldly, so we immediately go to supernatural and imaginative. When I think of purple, I immediately think of Barney, everybody's favorite purple dinosaur. Now, I have a valid question about Barney. Did Barney write the clean up, everybody do your share song? Or did that song exist before? Because as far as I know, every single child on Earth knows that song. And not every single child on Earth watches Barney. But did it start with Barney? Someone please tell me. Wizards! We're talking all kinds of wizards. We've got Yu-Gi-Oh! We've got Disney characters. We'll get to that later. We've got just generic wizard. If you Google wizard, he's always purple. Purple is just associated with magic and sorcery. The one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. Good call using purple for that. Not just for the alliteration, but also just for the weirdness. Here's a fun one. Grimace from McDonald's. If you were around in the 80s and 90s, and maybe a little of the 2000s, you'll remember that before McCafe was McDonaldland. And in McDonaldland, the world was all psychedelic and wonderful. If we go back to the origin of Grimace, he actually was called, get this, Evil Grimace. And he had 4 arms, and his whole shtick was that he stole food from people. Like, I thought that was the Hamburglar's job. But Grimace, very sneaky. And of course, Purple Mountain Majesty. The mountains seem like giant kings and queens wearing purple robes. Very majestic, very royal, also mystical and magical. And these guys, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. These are some of the coolest Pokemon ever made. Fight me. They've got the right vibe for purple. They're mysterious, they're ghost Pokemon, they're haunting, they play tricks on people. They're just the best. So back to Disney, I was trying to think of why purple reminded me of Disney. And then I realized they have a ton of purple characters, and a lot of them are villains. I'm not sure if there's a solid link between villains and purple, but what I do know is that purple is a great color to make your antagonist. It feels magical and strange and otherworldly and foreign. The common thread through these purple occurrences is a sense of mysticism and magic. Due to its rarity on Earth, there's a sense of strangeness when we encounter the color purple in large amounts. This all goes to show that purple is a color that sparks the imagination of what is possible. Applying purple in your designs can give a sense of excitement and wonder. So now for the review. Green simultaneously means natural and unnatural, sick and health, poison and organic, having money, really wanting money. It can be used for both. What a weird color. Orange is playful, full of energy, very vibrant, but in large amounts, like those poor students that were stuck in the room, it can be super overwhelming and actually distract you from your goals. And purple represents royalty, mystery, and imagination. So that's it for the secondary colors. And again, don't forget to check out the previous video on the primary colors. Now that we've got red, yellow, blue, green, orange, and purple, the next video is going to be on pink. Pink deserves its own video because it is a weirdo. And if you guys have any ideas or comments for future videos, just drop them in the comments below. Finally, I need you guys to slap that subscribe button. It's right here. Did you do it? Once again, my name is Dane, and this has been a video brought to you by Extra Credit Design Club. Like and subscribe.